rocking the Ray-Bans on this afternoon commute home. We are in the fall and school has just begun. So just a word of caution, be aware that school's back in session and there are little kids running around all over the place. I totally was just spaced out on the fact that it was back to school yesterday. Thankfully, I was driving around 5 o'clock, but man, it totally, all the school zones were done at 5 o'clock, but man, I was quite shocked to think that I had just overlooked that. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about it, when you're driving around. Anyways, beautiful weekend. Had a long weekend with Gabby. We went out to a beach called Sandcut Beach at the west coast of the island. Had a beautiful day at the waterfalls, just kind of sitting there. Brought some snacks with us, sat on the beach, got a little bit of sun. It was really, really enjoyable. And then we started working when we got back. Gabby's gotten into like restoring furniture, and there was some furniture that she got that was damaged, and we were trying to fix it. And we ended up sanding it down right to the wood, taking the finish right off, and then re-staining it and refinishing the wood. It was really, really fun little exercise to do with her. And it was really cool to watch her not just learn about the process of working with wood, but to actually experience it and see how when you add some stain to some wood and then it comes up and then you throw a nice glossy finish over it, it does even more magic to it. It really was a lot of fun, a lot of work, a lot of stress right now for myself, dealing with this convention, trying to get off the ground. Got some working on a few different things to hopefully get some registration up and running with it, but I had one of those moments where I had to be talked a little bit off the ledge on the weekend, because I was starting to get a little concerned about how things were going. But we got some great talent lined up. We got a great venue. Everything's working out. I just, get a little stressed about the whole thing. There's a lot to do, and there's so many moving parts and so many people who have questions. And it is a lot to consider. So we're still working on that. We're really giving another push for the next couple of weeks to see what we can do about registration. But it is a lot of stress. And I think it's really important that when you are feeling stress of any kind, that this is where you get to prove to yourself and to others that you are a leader. And regardless of how small those stresses are, look at it as an exercise, as a chance to prove yourself. And don't let it get you down, because the people that can manage the high stress, all those people who can manage like those stressful situations successfully, those are the ones who go on to be the super successful people. People who can't handle stress don't get into upper management. They don't get to the C-suite. So consider that. Keep that in mind. So I had a conversation with somebody last night. Someone was having a really tough time, and I was able to, kind of give them another perspective. Because so often we're in a bad situation and we think, oh my God, I just can't, I don't know how I'm going to handle it. How am I going to do this? What am I going to do? And sometimes it takes just an outside, someone who hasn't got the emotional investment into your situation, to think about the situation for just a second and give you a different perspective. And I think that's what I was able to do to somebody last night. Someone called me and they were really, really stressing out. They were starting to feel the pressure of their partner and their partner's family and their roommates. And sometimes it just takes a second to go, have you thought about this? Now, there's two parts to this. There's the person who is hearing it, be receptive to it, be humble and receptive to the ideas, the concepts. And also, if you're the person who's feeling so high and mighty as to give advice, make sure you give it in a way that's kind. Because sometimes people, when they're getting advice, a lot of times the first thing they're going to think about is that they're that you think that they're not smart, or that they have to be dumber than you to accept your advice. So keep that in mind. People do get triggered by even just getting advice given to them. So think about that when you're giving advice. Just, be cautious about it. But back to the original thing, what I was talking about was the different perspective. Sometimes just a little bit of a change in perspective can really open up some new opportunities and give you some hope in a situation that you might not even see as hopeful. You might see it as a hopeless situation. So it's yeah, you're a good guy. There you are. Thank you. And so what I was able to do was just look at the situation and say, okay, what would I do in that situation? Again, easy to do. It's always easy to say, you know what you should have done. It's easy to do those things when you're not emotionally invested. Like, I always hear this when, I get into an issue at a bar or something, back when I used to get into issues in bars, and, get a little scrappy with somebody, and someone steps up and goes, you know what you should have done, or you know what I would have done. It's like you weren't there, you weren't in the situation, you didn't have your emotions giving you tunnel vision. And, like you get fixated on one solution and only one solution. You don't start to see all the other solutions that come up. It's sometimes having an outside person give you some thoughts can really, really open up some concepts. And it's funny, when I talk about magic, there's been times where non-magicians in fact, there's a story in a book I read, I can't remember which book it was, but it was about all these magicians were completely stumped by this actor who was portraying a magician in this movie, in this play. And after they were like so perplexed, like, how did you pull off this magic trick? How did you do it? And when he explained it to them in such a simple way, it was then they realized that just having that non-biased perspective of how to pull off a routine like this guy did, not having that magic tunnel vision of a magician, this was what gave them the power to be able to come up and perform a routine that fooled every magician in the theater that night. And he was not a magician. That's the power of having a different perspective. So if you're in a situation right now and you really don't know what to do, talk to other people and be willing and open to hear what someone who's not in that emotional position has to say about your situation. Because sometimes it could be such a simple solution. And the solution I gave was one that I thought, okay, well, this just makes sense to me. And so I gave it, and she was like, I didn't even consider that was a possibility. And it wasn't that she refused it, like she said no to it. It was she really didn't think that it was a possibility. My concept, my solution to the issue she was having. And what it did is it didn't take the problems away that she was having, but what it did was it gave her hope that there is a solution to the problems. And that is so powerful when you're stuck in a situation. So listen to the perspective of other people, because even though they may not be giving you great advice, they may open your mind to an opportunity or a solution to a problem you're having. It's very powerful. But again, it comes back to being humble. You have to be humble. You have to humble yourself to what somebody else is saying with regards to sorry, got kids on the sidewalk here. Got to keep my eyes open. Oh, it's my lights. I'm good. You have to be humble to the advice that's being given, and it doesn't mean you have to take it. It just means be humble to it, be open to it, be receptive to it, because it could be something that could get you out of a situation, or it could be something that gives you an opportunity that you didn't even think was possible before. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for watching. Tomorrow, Thursday, tomorrow's steak day. Very excited about steak day. That's when I get to have a nice ribeye steak, treat myself. And so thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on YouTube. If you're watching us, YouTube, subscribe. It's always subscribe. Oh, and something real quick to the guys who do subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to be putting a link to a special app that I am building right now. I'm learning code to build an app that's going to help everyone. So I don't have to keep doing all the talking. You can go into this app, answer a few questions, and it can tell you exactly what you need to do to get back onto the path if you've gotten a little bit astray with your finances, or how to get you to retirement quicker, so you know how much you need to save and get prepared for it. So it's going to be an app. It's going to be available to the people who are subscribers. I'm going to send a little note to the subscribers with the link to the app. And right now, I'm working on the equations. So right now, it's just an Excel spreadsheet. But we will get it up and we'll get it out. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be the Financial Freeway app. So pumped about it. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you check out financialfreeway23.ca because we'll have the app there as well. And I'll probably have the beta Excel spreadsheet that you guys can play with. Punch in your numbers. Punch in your personal numbers of what your situation is right now, and it'll show you where you can invest, or where you can save, where you can cut back on expenses, blah, 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 all that really cool stuff. Very excited about that. And as I always say, spread the word, spread the good news, because we want everyone in the world to understand that they do have an inalienable right to live a life of success and abundance. Thank you so much, wherever you are in this beautiful sunny day. God bless.